that. I'm a fan of that. What I'm not a fan of is what I have a question about is there somebody in charge of what's permissible and what's not according to a certain code of conduct, and do they have a political agenda? So in other words, so if I put out something that has profanity, or maybe a stand-up clip where I want to get people, and it's a clip that is offensive to said person whose responsibility is, they can go no, and who's stopping them from doing that?
Who is stopping them? But see, with the dudes with their shirts off, flex and shit, when they're trying to get clients, that's fine, and they can reach other people outside their followers is what it should be. But if you have 100,000 followers, it should reach all 100,000 that you build.
I see what you're saying.
That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah, they're going to lose everybody. There's going to be a new Instagram. If they start doing that shit and it gets out of hand, people just leave.
Well, you know what shadow banning is, right?
No.
There's a concept of shadow banning, and I don't know if this is, Jamie would be able to speak to this better than me. Has that ever been proved that they actually do shadow ban people?
What's that?
Or is that the term has been used is that if you say were on Twitter and maybe you were conservative and you said a lot of rude things about liberals, that maybe they would decide that although it doesn't violate the terms of service, what you do is makes them uncomfortable. They make a moral judgment and they decide to limit your engagement with other people. Yeah, this is somehow possible. Now, this is possible,
if there's a
right?
hater, but is that like a hater?
It's all. And what you're saying with the paying of posts too, it happens similarly there too. If you were an account that never paid, and once you give them $5, you're like flagged now as an account that will pay. And
right, but
we're
talking about Twitter.
It's
Twitter. You don't pay
across the board. Yeah, you can pay on Twitter too.
How do you pay on Twitter? Do you pay on Twitter?
You don't have to, but
you
there
don't
are
have
brands
to. You
that
can.
pay.
There's an option.
You can pay.
Yeah, promoted tweets. It's a
promoted.
The top trending topic for the last year or two is a paid. It says paid or promoted.
Really?
Yeah. You just have to.
All of them are going to it because they get money now.
That's how they're.
Well, who's been banned from Twitter?
A lot of people, man.
Really?
Your boy.
A lot of people.
Your fucking
Alex
boy.
Jones.
Alex Jones, the most famous.
Who gets banned?
Owen Benjamin's been banned from Twitter.
He has?
Who gets banned more, conservatives or liberals?
Conservatives. But liberals get banned too. There's liberals that have put out death threats. They've been banned.
But in general, though. In general.
Yeah, they should be.
Is it lopsided or is it even?
I don't know. That's a good question. We should find out.
What is the
some
criteria
should be banned,
for being banned?
That's a good question too.
Is it to incite violence or is it?
You violate their terms of service, and definitely if you incite violence, that's definitely a no-no. Racial slurs are a no-no.
Racist.
But you can call someone, I think you can call someone a fuckhead. You can call someone a fuckhead, but you can't call them like a guinea fuckhead. There's certain things you can say and certain things you can't say, but a lot of it's subjective.
Yeah.
But then some of it's pretty black and white. Like if you're like, man, I want to go, or if someone should blow up that fucking school, fuck those kids,
of course,
or the racist stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, all of that.
I think you got to regulate the hate too. If it's just bullying and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just ban them.
Well, it's like, here's the question. And this is who gets to decide what's hateful and what's not. And the problem is they keep pushing it further and further and further, and then even just insults are hateful. Even like this guy is a dumbass. Yeah. Even that's hateful. Saying someone's a dumbass is hateful. I mean, there's only so far you could keep going down that road.
Right.
You want to make sure that you have free expression, and you don't get free expression if you ban people from saying things that just don't seem that bad to me.
What about Alex Jones? You think his banning was?
I'd like to see what he said.
The Sandy Hook stuff.
But here's the thing.
He's getting sued for that anyway.
But here's the thing. Yeah, he was already getting sued for that. Like, what did he say that got him? I think something happened that he did had nothing to do with even what he said.
Right.
He confronted them at some event, right? And he was yelling in the back and disrupting.
The final event happened after he confronted people in Congress and made a big fuss.
Alex Jones has a regular on, a former CIA officer, Dr. Steve Pachenik. He has him on like once every 6 months. That's where he got the Sandy Hook information, was from him. That dude is on video.
Does a CIA guy know about Sandy Hook? The fuck would he know? That's the dumbest fucking thing that Alex Jones has ever done. It's also immoral.
No, that's what that guy was saying.
I don't give a fuck that guy.
Dr. Steve Pachenik was saying
that guy. Fuck Steve. Whatever. If he said it didn't, fuck him too.
You have to always wonder. And I mean, I'm not making any accusations, but you'd have to always wonder when you hear a story like that. Why would someone say something so ridiculous, and why would someone try to convince someone like Alex Jones of something so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think there'd be two reasons. One, to discredit Jones. If you could talk him into repeating what you said, if you think he's willing to do that,
that's interesting.
You can easily discredit him, and it would be a really good way to do it, like the best way to do it.
That's no, what I'm saying, whether he's right or wrong, but whether he's right or wrong, Dr. Steve Pachenik said it several times on a show. So,
but
for Alex to believe him,
no, it started like this.
It's not that crazy.
But Eddie,
he's hearing it from a guy who was in the CIA.
It started like this.
It's not that crazy for him to believe in a guy from. He may or may not be right.
But it started with Alex actually saying, he said, unfortunately, he goes, something to the effect of, I saw it, it was very sad, but unfortunately, I've seen a lot of soap operas. And I've seen a lot of, and I know an actor when I see one. And that's where it started with him.
Did he really say it that way?
Yes, and he's being sued by a law firm in Connecticut.
In Hollywood,
he's
it
in
seems
trouble.
like he'd be a good acting coach.
But remember,
he really knows an actor when he sees
wasn't he in court and they said, "What the fuck?" Basically, what the fuck you're doing? He goes, "Listen, I say a lot of things just for entertainment.
Of course,
like it's just for the bullshit."
But during his trial with his wife,
that was a different thing. That was.
But he did admit he's like, I don't believe it. A lot of it I just say.
He's got a business.
Yeah. Well, the thing about a lot of nutrition people, a lot of these people is you make money. You make money in this business, in whatever it is, whether it's being a political pundit, whether it's being an exercise guy. You make money having answers. If you're somebody who's more scientific and says, I don't know, it depends, maybe. You're not going to make money. When you say bone broth cures cancer, you're going to sell books. When you say my plant-based diet is proven to do blah blah
guaranteed this,
whatever, you're going to make money. If you say I'll help you lose weight and keep it off in 4 months,
take my money.
You're not going to say, hey, I'm a nutritionist guy. It's going to take you 2 years. We're going to try to change life. You're going to have bounce backs. You're going to have plateaus.
See, being realistic.
Yeah, nobody's going to buy that shit.
This Yadong guy has good movement, man.
So, but with Alex Jones, so is he banned for life, or does he not have a business?
I don't know. Well, I mean, he still has his website.
He's got a big lawsuit he's got to worry about.
But his show, they got rid of his show, happened to all the followers and shit.
No, the only thing that happened is they pulled him off of YouTube and they pulled him off of Twitter and they pull him off
iTunes,
of Facebook too,
and iTunes and Facebook.
And he's got a major lawsuit with a law firm that doesn't compromise.
Well, there's two guys. There's two guys that are being sued over that. Alex Jones. And a guy named Wolfgang Helbig.
Great
he's
name.
also being sued. That guy, his job was to prepare schools for school shootings. So he came out and he started saying that too. So he's breaking apart Sandy Hook.
Wait, he started saying that Sandy Hook isn't real?
Though. Yeah, he's getting sued along with Alex Jones.
Oh my God.
Well,
but they didn't show up for when he went to court. They never showed up, so they dropped the case.
One thing about the law.
It's kind of weird.
No, they haven't dropped the case against Alex Jones.
Where does it come from? Why would Sandy Hook be fake?
Let's not talk about this stuff.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I find it fascinating.
Well,
why in the world would it be fake, though? I know you get riled up.
Like, what's the conspiracy theory?
I have zero thoughts that is fake, but I do have thoughts on why someone would try to get other people to say it's fake. And listen, if there's anything that's ever going to convince you that conspiracy theories are stupid, it's making up a fake conspiracy, an easily provable fake conspiracy about a real tragedy. That's a nice, simple psychological way to discredit people. If I thought you were a dumbass but you had a big voice, I might talk you into saying some shit about something that's not real and have you convinced it's real, so you spout it out and you look like a moron.
Right.
And that discredits everything else you say.
That's right.
And you have to be really careful with a lot of these stories. There's a lot of these conspiracy theories that literally start out a joke. They start out in 4chan and a lot of these chat rooms as trolls, and then before you know it, it becomes a real thing.
Because it's said over and over and so on.
It's said over and over again, and then morons get a hold of it.
But Alex
and they start
Jones is a smart
to prove
dude.
It's true.
Right? Like, he's a smart. We can all agree he's a.
I don't agree. What do you mean smart?
You don't think he's?
I don't know.
To do what he's doing, listen, I don't agree with a lot of stuff. He's a smart guy.
He's
you ever meet him?
He's good
Have
at
you met
collecting
him?
information. No.
You would not say he's a dumb person.
I don't know. I don't listen to him, so I can't speak.
He's pretty
on
articulate. Yeah, he's not stupid.
Like, I'm very, very sad that he said that Sandy Hook isn't real.
Me too. Can't fuck with him.
But I always enjoy being around that guy.
You would say he's an articulate, smart guy, right?
I see he's a fun guy too.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, for him to, it's not like you can just honey dick him like, dude, Sandy Hook. Like, it would have to be something. You know?
He loves conspiracies, man. You know, he really does. And this is the problem with someone who like hunts out conspiracies. You're gonna love them. You're gonna look for them.
It's like numerology in the Bible. You can find any pattern.
This is the problem: is when you have a vested interest in them being real.
When it's your business,
because there are a lot of them that are real. So the problem is, if you have a vested interest in them being real, and you exclude information that would point to them not being real, and you use confirmation bias, and you fuck up, and then you try to convince other people that you're correct. This is something that people will fall into.
But if you're a conspiracy theorist, and Eddie, I'd love to hear you on it. You're super quiet about all this. But if you're a conspiracy theory, which ones have been proven correct? Not that many, right?
Well, there's plenty. Sure.
But I'm saying like absolutely.
There's big ones like Enron. You know, there's big ones. There's big ones. You know, there's many documentaries and books have been written on the Enron conspiracy. These guys got together and they figured out how to make $1 kajillion and fuck people over. And it was breaking the law, and they knew it was breaking the law. They conspired to do it.
And bought homes in Florida so you can take them.
There's wise people that think the 2008 housing crisis that was all on purpose. That these guys built this bubble up and
sank it. Is any of that proven though?
No. It's not proven. It's not proven.
The bubble, the housing bubble was. There've been great books written on the housing bubble. Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short's a good book on it.
Good movie
A couple
too.
other books, yeah. But you know, there's been a lot of research on that. Too many bankers.
Eddie, is there any
involved.
proven ones? You're so quiet during all this.
It all depends.
Brennan just wants to get Eddie going.
I know Eddie knows his shit.
It all depends on how much circumstantial evidence makes you throw up some red flags. Like some people, they just don't see the red flags, and some people, their red flags go up right away. So it all depends. Like when you say, is there any proof?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need. I mean, at a certain point, when you have circumstantial evidence, at a certain point,
it adds up.
You know, if one
like
piece
JFK
of
is pretty suspect.
JFK suspect as fuck.
Yeah, it's
Super
like there's no look. JFK's a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
There's no actual proof of the conspiracy that there was multiple shooters or the CIA and the mob. There's no actual proof, but there's a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Right. Well,
so it all depends on how much circumstantial evidence do you need for any particular conspiracy theory where you go, oh shit, there's enough circumstantial evidence. Like if there was a murder, right, and you were being accused, and only one person said, I saw Brendan like 4 blocks away from the restaurant where his friend was killed. If just that one person saw you, that's one piece of circumstantial evidence. That's not enough to convict you. Yeah. But if 100 people said they saw you 2 blocks away in the parking lot, none of it standing alone will put you in jail. But at a certain point, enough circumstantial evidence will put dudes in jail.
Or if enough people tell the same story about you. Like with Cosby, it was the same story over and over. It's like not all these women can't be. They're all telling the exact same story about the same MO
Michael
you
Jackson
had.
too.
Well, not only that, Cosby had gone to court and had a lawsuit sealed and paid a woman off.
That's right.
Like it had already been.
He did a deposition.
So this was a part of the whole thing, was that he had to come out and that they had to defend that in his most recent trial.
Bill Clinton too. I just got done watching those Monica Lewinsky tapes.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was a freak.
Oh yeah,
dude.
The other problem with like being someone like Alex Jones who makes a lot of money off his conspiracies and things is that if once he says something, I know a pretty good friend of his, Alex, and the problem is once you say something and you have that big of a following, right? So let's just say you float out a conspiracy, but then you look at evidence and you start to realize maybe I overstepped my bounds. We all say things we wish we hadn't, or we all say things, but now you've got a whole movement behind what you said. Now to try to pull back would turn that 25% of whoever it is against you. And that can be a liability too. So one of the things about being a public figure is you can say something, and if you're selling product and selling your show on that, you better be all in. You better stay all in.
Yeah.
So you become a prisoner to your own kind of first impulse or your own first sort of like.
No matter how outlandish.
Well,
and especially if he's also an entertainer.
It's also this rush to say you know something when you don't know it.
Yeah.
There's a rush to say. There's a rush to say we absolutely know this happened. Yeah. We absolutely know that happened.
Because he's getting it from somewhere.
It's good entertainment. There's something
Alex
to
is
it.
getting it from somewhere. He has his sources. For sure.
He's probably got multiple
information
sources.
on these these tragic events or something like that? Or you don't think so, B?
I'm just looking at you, Brendan.
Listen, I think he has some people to tell
fucking
him.
troublemaker.
No, I'm not.
Don't take the bait, Eddie.
You know what?
Eddie, he's floating a fucking huge worm out there for you.
Hey, listen.
Eddie, stay away from the worm.
I
Stay away.
strategically come on this show and try not to talk about conspiracy theories, but I always get sucked back into them. I always get sucked back to it.
He's floating that worm. He's floating that worm.
No, but
look,
they're legit questions. I don't know shit about conspiracies.
You're asking super crazy legit questions.